There's something happening in your life right now that you can feel but can't yet explain. You've tried meditating, visualizing, repeating affirmations, maybe even scripting or tracking moon cycles. You've read the books, watched the videos, stayed high vibe, and yet the shift you crave hasn't arrived. Or it flickers for a moment, then slips through your fingers like mist. So you try harder. You push, you effort, you tweak your routine, your strategy, your timing. You force the vision into form. Believing more effort must be the answer. But what if it's not? What if the very act of trying harder is the exact thing repelling the shift? Here's what almost no one tells you. In the quantum realm, effort is not power, energy is. The quantum field isn't impressed by your to-do list. It's reading your signal. And that signal doesn't come from what you do. It comes from who you are while you do it. Your state of being, your vibration, your coherence. That's what the field mirrors. Back into form, and that's why doing less from the right frequency creates infinitely more than overeating ever could. To understand this, you have to unlearn what the world has taught you about manifestation. The 3D paradigm says hustle creates success. But in quantum terms, hustle often indicates misalignment. Why? Because aligned energy is efficient, clear, magnetic. It doesn't need to overcompensate. Overdoing, overthinking, overplanning. These are signs the inner world hasn't caught up with the outer desire. And the field will always reflect the inner world first. Let's make this real with a story. Imagine a woman named Ava. She's deep into spiritual work. She journals every morning. She does breath work. She listens to binaural beats and visualizes her dream life daily. But still, she's stuck in the same financial loop. One day, out of frustration, she throws out all the practices. She stops trying to get there. Instead, she simply sits in silence. She breathes. She cries. She releases. And for the first time in weeks, she feels peaceful. Not because her life changed, but because she finally stopped resisting what was. In that moment, her frequency shifts. The next day, a job offer lands in her inbox. Out of nowhere, coincidence, no coherence. She did less and received more because her energy finally matched the reality she'd been chasing. This isn't magic, it's mechanics. In quantum physics, the observer effect shows us that matter doesn't exist in a fixed state until it is observed. And tension collapses the probability wave into a particle. That means the energy you hold while observing, while focusing, intending, desiring is what collapses one version of reality over another. And if your energy is chaotic, desperate, or doubting, the field receives that as your true request, no matter what words you say or rituals you follow. Here's the secret. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you're being. And being isn't about pretending or forcing. A high vibe, it's about stabilizing your signal in truth, in calm, in coherence. That's what creates magnetic resonance. And reality follows resonance. This is why some people manifest effortlessly while others feel stuck despite trying everything. It's not about how much they do, it's about how clean their signal is. And that signal is often clearest when you stop doing and start allowing. So the real question isn't what else do I need to do? It's what am I doing that's clouding my frequency, what thoughts, what behaviors, what beliefs are keeping you in friction with your desired timeline. Doing less means stepping out of frantic action and into intentional presence. It means releasing the need to control and choosing to trust the unseen process of energetic alignment. And that choice, that trust, it's not passive. It's powerful. It's the most radical thing you can do in a world addicted to force. And this is just the beginning, because in the next segment we'll explore the science and spirit behind acting from alignment, not anxiety. You'll learn how the now moment is not just a mindset, but a portal, and how your most powerful shift doesn't come from doing more but from becoming more coherent. Let's pause for a moment and consider something that might be quietly shaping as or distorting your reality. The intention behind your actions, not the action itself, not the outcome it aims to produce, but the energy beneath it, the frequency it emits. Most people act from urgency, from lack, from an invisible fear that if I don't do something now, nothing will change. That pressure, though deeply human, transmits a signal to the quantum field that says, I am not whole, I am not ready, I am not safe. And the field, ever so neutral and precise, mirrors that signal back, not because it's cruel, but because it's coherent. Now here's the upgrade. You can act now, but from alignment, not anxiety. And when you do, the entire game changes. In quantum mechanics, the present moment is not a stepping stone to the future. It is the only access point to all possibilities. The past and future are not fixed locations. They are probabilities. They are accessible only through the now. When you understand this, you stop chasing results in some distant future and start calibrating your energy in this moment. Because this moment is the only one the quantum field responds to. think about how most people try to create change. They push, they hustle, they anticipate, they obsess. They're mentally 2 steps ahead or emotionally 6 months behind. Very few are here, right here. And yet this is where reality is born. This is where choice lives. This is where you collapse the next frame of your life. Let's go deeper. The quantum field is like a cosmic search engine, always scanning your internal state for a signal to match. When you act from scattered urgency, it sees incoherence. When you act from grounded clarity, even with fewer steps, the field registers are clear. Request, that's what gets results. Not more action, more coherence. Coherence isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, about being internally aligned with your intention, your energy, your decision. When the heart and mind are in sync, the body relaxes, the nervous system regulates, the signal clears, you become a clean channel. That's when synchronicities accelerate. That's when timelines bend. In neuroscience, this state of internal alignment is linked to heart-brain. Coherence. Studies from the HeartMath Institute show that when the heart's rhythm becomes ordered and harmonious, the brain synchronizes with it, producing greater cognitive clarity, emotional stability, and intuitive access. You're not just thinking better, you're becoming a clearer receiver for guidance, inspiration, and aligned opportunities. Now imagine the implications of that. Imagine replacing overthinking with inner listening, replacing reactivity with responsiveness. Replacing exhaustion with effortless insight. This is not passive. This is quantum mastery. It's the foundation of real power, the kind that doesn't burn you out because it flows through you rather than from you. Let's return to the idea of doing less. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting only when your system is aligned. When the thought feels clear, the body feels settled, and the decision arises from stillness, not survival. That kind of action carries a different signature. It enters the quantum field. Like a laser, not a scattershot, and that's why it works. Have you ever noticed how the best ideas often arrive when you're not looking for them? In the shower, on a walk, in stillness. That's not coincidence, that's coherence. In those moments, your brain quiets, your resistance softens, and your signal clears. You step out of linear time and into resonance with possibility. Here's a truth worth repeating. The universe doesn't need you to do more. It needs you to be aligned with what you're doing, because alignment is clarity. Clarity is power. And power in the quantum realm is not force, it's frequency. So how do you know if you're in alignment or anxiety? Feel your body, listen to your thoughts, watch for urgency. If your action is coming from fear of what will happen if you don't act, pause, re-enter, wait for the shift. And when it comes, you'll know, because the next step will feel like truth, not pressure. In the next part, we'll explore the connection between your thinking and your field. Why thinking correctly, not more often or more intensely, but more cleanly, is more powerful than any amount of effort. You'll see how your thoughts don't just interpret reality, they instruct it, and why doing less doesn't start with action but with intention. Ready to recalibrate the way you think? Let's go. You've probably been told that your thoughts create your reality, but what that sentence doesn't often explain is this: not all thoughts are equal. Not every idea that crosses your mind is a blueprint, not every affirmation is a signal, and not every vision manifests. Why? Because the quantum field doesn't respond to the content of your thoughts. It responds to the coherence of your consciousness. It responds to the clarity of your frequency, which means thinking more, even with good intentions, doesn't guarantee more alignment. In fact, most people are thinking so much with so little energetic precision that they generate static instead of signal. The result: fragmented manifestation, inconsistent outcomes, and endless confusion. Here's the deeper truth. Your dominant frequency is determined by the quality of your awareness, not the quantity of your effort. This is why the third principle of quantum shift is so important: thinking right, doing much. And by right, we don't mean positive or fluffy. We mean accurate, in resonance, in truth. Thoughts that come from your higher self, not your wounded self. Thoughts that arise from the field, not from fear. Thoughts that align W.